What's good, Texas Tech Red Raiders? Welcome in. It has been a minute since we've done a live. I think we were just talking about how it's been a long time. So let's catch you up, y'all. This is Seeing Scarlet. We talk all things Texas Tech sports. We just finished an interview today, a spotlight. We're trying to switch the language. It's more of a spotlight series. So we got that coming up, and that's on our YouTube channel. So make sure that y'all go subscribe. We've talked about this, Shelby and I, that we don't tell y'all to go
We're really bad
to the
about
places
it.
and do the things, but we have found doing this work that it really, really helps us. So if y'all support us, go check out our website, seeing-scarlet.com. Subscribe to us, YouTube, like us, all that good stuff. We're right at like the threshold of a lot of different things, and you have to have the certain numbers to do the things. And we're really close in so many different ways. So yeah, make sure you do that. And what we got into today, so much so. And we're going to start off with some softball. So Shelby and I have talked about this a lot, and it's a tough situation, but y'all know us. We're Texas Tech Red Raiders. It's what we do. It's how we get through together, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk a little bit about timeline of like how did we even get here? What happened? We'll talk about our feelings because y'all know how we roll on this show, and then we'll talk about some things that are exciting to think about moving forward because that's what we got to do.
That's what matters.
And then we'll get softball, move through, and then we'll talk about some really exciting campus visits from, there's multiple names that we're going to talk about today with the Texas Tech Lady Raiders and who's been in the house, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we also got a really great quote from that player too. So we'll talk about that.
Mackenzie Mothran gave us a nice.
I didn't know if we were going to
Mackenzie,
ruin the surprise
correctly, but she gave us a really good quote on her time. So we'll have an article coming out about it, but we'll give you the quote tonight if you stick around for basketball later.
That's what's up. And then we'll talk about some track and field, really cool clips with that that we have in store, and a little bit of an update from our professional soccer players, getting some minutes in the NWSL, the pros doing the pro thing. So we'll get into that a little bit later on. But that's what we got for today. Mm-hmm. For tonight. And I say that like we're going to get through it quick, but we're not. And we're going to show you that and how well we do that. Let's start it off with softball, y'all. Let's
do it.
Let's tell the people like where we're at like right now. Like maybe if you have not been paying attention to social media, I feel like this really happened quickly. And if you're anything like me, that I'm not on Twitter that much anymore, and I saw this news before Shelby did, and I cannot tell y'all how like nerve-wracking that was for me. I was like, Shelby hasn't texted me about this, and I got do I have to break the news? Is she asleep? What's going on? So
yeah. I was in church, and when I got out, I had about 30.
You're like, I'm going back in.
Our Twitter was blowing up, and I was like,
I'm gonna go back.
Who died? And if you have been sleeping under a rock or something, Craig Snyder, the softball coach, departed on the news broke on Sunday. We'll get into the timeline on when it actually happened, but the news broke on Sunday, and he is headed to Tennessee to be their hitting coach. So there's obviously thoughts and emotions and all that around that. But first, this is the timeline we've gathered, right? These are from different sources all around, so I'm not gonna say that we couldn't be missing some details or things should be here or there. So, but this is the best we could get for you. A lot of this is public knowledge. If you just look for it, other things we asked some people on, because I feel like some people are confused. We were confused, and there's still some things we're confused on because there's been no press conference, there's been no statement from either side really, other than there's a coaching search happening. So we've all been left in the dark, and I understand that is frustrating as fans. So this is what, to give you some context on how this all started. Well, really, it goes back to March. If you want to be honest about it, March 26th, Auburn, and now their head coach announced he would be resigning after the season. He was going to finish the season out, but he would be done.
Okay.
So that means Auburn's going to need a new head coach, right? Auburn obviously knows this. On June 5th, which was last Wednesday, I believe, Auburn announced that they hired Chris and Kate, is it Malview? I don't know. Sorry. Pronounced their names wrong, but they were assistant coaches at Tennessee. They're married. They took the co-head coaching job at Auburn. So that meant Tennessee had 2 assistant spots open. Yeah. On June 7th, I believe Friday night, I was told that there was a meeting between Kirby and Craig Snyder on Friday in which they discussed him leaving. So this was known on Friday, it sounds like. They did try maybe to renegotiate things. Seemed like maybe, from my understanding, Snyder had his mind pretty much made up, which, again, we can talk about the whys of it in a minute. It's his life. You have to respect that side of things. So, Sunday morning, around 8 a.m. Texas time, 8:30 a.m., I believe, a story broke. Softball America, or D1 Baseball, broke the story that Snyder would be leaving, and he would be going to Tennessee along with Stephanie Sanders. Stephanie Sanders may be an unfamiliar name to a lot of people that aren't Texas Tech fans, or maybe some Texas Tech fans that have recently learned who she is, but if you have followed the program, you know who Stephanie Sanders is. I think they're getting married this weekend, so fiance or his wife, I'm not sure, but at any rate, she was also hired at Tennessee.
Gotcha.
Probably a part of the equation, a chance for them to coach
Oh,
together.
yeah.
All the things, these are factors that come into it, right? That happened Sunday morning around 8:30 or 9. That news broke. Also, somewhere on Sunday morning, there was a team meeting with the players between Snyder and the players, obviously, as you would do, to inform them of his decision. I don't know how many of them did or didn't find out before then, but media happens fast. It is what it is, I guess. That's unfortunate if they did. In this meeting, it's not really our privy to know what happened, other than I believe what was the main talking point was he didn't make this decision lightly. He had to do what was best for his family. Everything else is between them. I'm not asking questions. It's not for us to know. Then later that afternoon, as is customary in these situations, there was a meeting between the players and the athletic director. That happens anytime there's a situation like this where your coach is leaving, and they just update the players. I don't know exactly what happened in this meeting, but having been a part of those meetings in the past in other schools and other situations, it's essentially the AD will talk to the players, let them know, hey, we already have a coaching search started. Obviously, if they've known since Friday, they started it probably a few days before that. And we're going to find you a leader that's going to lead this team. And they usually give the players a chance to voice their own concerns, their own thoughts on like the type of coach they would want, things of that nature. And then everybody moves forward from there, right? So that is kind of the timeline of events as we have heard it to be.
I kind of see it
That helps
unfold.
people, that confuses people. I don't know. But that's kind of where we're at with it. Why did he leave? Nobody knows, right? I think it's a personal thing, like he said. He had to do what was best for his family. I think that is what has been understanding is what has been said. He has not put out a statement on it, so nobody really knows. But that's my understanding of the general consensus that I think he put out in his tweet about Tennessee, that it was an opportunity that doesn't come around very often. So that's how they saw it.
Kind of sounds like it is, you know? Like
Yeah, I mean, if they want to coach together, that probably is the big part of it. You know, a chance to coach with his soon-to-be wife or his wife. Still not sure on the timeline of that. I think the wedding is this weekend. But
Shelby, where's that timeline?
I'm not keeping up. I wasn't invited, so I don't got the invite on that.
Okay.
I don't know. But, so, I mean, I get that on a personal level. I think there could have been handled a little bit better in some ways, but these things happen fast. But I do feel bad for the players. I wouldn't blame them. Someone asked how the players are feeling right now.
Yeah,
I haven't reached out to the players. That's not, it's their, outside of a few of them just to say, hey, we're thinking about you and all that. But I wouldn't blame them if they feel some type of way about it. Promises were broken because I think in these situations, and Sibby, please jump in and tell me your thoughts on it.
Why would I ever jump in? Go. Yeah.
In these situations, I think a multitude of things can be true at the same time. And I think that's where we are with this.
Yeah.
This can be the best decision for Craig Snyder and his family. That can be true. But it can also not be the best decision for the players he's leaving behind. So, like, what's best for him is not best for the players he was coaching, so they would have the right to feel some type of way. Also, his staff. Remember, he's taking an assistant coaching job, not a head coaching job, so it's not like he can bring his staff with him. I don't
tough.
blame anybody for feeling some type of way about it. I feel some type of way about it as a Texas Tech fan, and as some things, and the fact that we haven't gotten a thank you or a goodbye or anything. There's some of those things, but on a human level, we've all been there where we have to make decisions that we feel are best for our family.
Yeah.
I can respect that, right? If things were handled, who knows? Those are all things that we're not exactly privy to. the true nature of how things went down. But I can understand why there would be some hurt feelings. I do believe that a lot of these players, they want to be at Texas Tech. The ones that are still here, they love Texas Tech. But as we'll get into, they need a coach.
Yeah.
And they need a leader. And we're going to talk about some of the details on it, on who they might go after and stuff. But that's where we're at. So I think you just got to, like, support the players through it. And they know we're here for them. We got them. And there's other things we can discuss on this, too. But I think that's kind of the starting point of it, I guess. There's a lot of things that factor into this. And until there's a press conference, until either side speaks on it, if they ever do, I don't know if we'll actually truly know, but that's the best we could kind of put together for y'all without going too speculative in nature and getting out there with wild theories.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly, and like the timeline and all of that kind of makes sense with just the whiplash of how quick this happens, but of course it does, right? You're never going to get the perfect way for a coach to leave, and Shelby and you and I have talked about it too, of just like almost the fatigue of a new coach, and especially like with this program, it feels like, we were launching to the moon, and then we have something for the players to adapt to, which is like, they'll learn from it, but it's like, for me, I'm thinking, all right, Craig Snyder is now next chapter, and it is what it is, and that's it. Like, it is what it is. But I'm thinking, like, how are we going to catch these players and support them through a really just like, it just always sounds tough. Have you ever moved before, y'all? Have you ever been like, wow, I got a lot of shit? Imagine doing that, like, however many times, like, these players, if they need to find a new spot for them, and like, it's just a difficult situation. And then with the players who are staying too, that's again another difficult situation, because you might be trusting something that you just don't know much about yet, like how quickly this process is going to take, like a head coach role, and picking the right person. And I think there's so many different points of pressure, and I think my focus anyway is like the students, and how do we elevate them, or at least acknowledge, this is hard. I can't. So like you were saying, like, you got to, players do what you don't blame them. It makes sense. And so I've enjoyed seeing that on social media, of like support and things like that. Cause I mean, that's the whole point of all of this, y'all. It's not Craig Snyder's show anymore. It's the players, and how do we support them moving forward. And it's that's what it is.
That's a great point. I think I'm kind of numb to coaching changes, and we talked about that privately, girl. And not just doing senior scholarship, but just like being around sports.
Tired.
We're just kind of, and it's not just a Texas Tech thing. It's like a sports thing, and everywhere we've worked, and like it happens everywhere. I mean, this whole 4 and 6 years thing does not. That's
holy
insane,
cannoli.
And we need to hit on our next hire. But coaching changes in general, I'm pretty numb to, and it happens. But my instant thought when it's a college situation is the athletes.
Yeah, dude.
A lot of empathy
Can you
there
imagine?
for how they found out, when they found out, and to be on this like upward climb, thinking, hey, we're about to do this with someone that brought us here. We believe in this, and to have those promises broken, whether the athletes agree with it or not and understand his decision or not, I don't know. That's up for them to talk about. But it's still a promise broken, and that's gotta hurt. I mean, it feels. I've been in a similar situation before, and it feels like you're being stabbed in the heart, like from the front, like someone's staring you in the eyes because you trust them, and they stab you in the heart. It's not a stab in the back situation. It's a stab in the front while you're staring at them situation. And so that's my immediate thought is them. And because these decisions are so much more consequential for the student athlete than it is the coach. Snyder had to do what was best for his family.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 years that he was here for a coach is a blip. It's on his resume. It's a paragraph on whatever website for whatever team he's at for the rest of his career. A paragraph about his time at Texas Tech. 2 years for a student athlete is half of their eligibility. So some spent 2 years with them, some spent 1. But they spent that building towards something with this coach, thinking, we're going to go here, we're going to do this. And that was taken from them by the same person that gave it to them. So whether they agree with it or not, again, that's their story to tell. I don't know. But it still hurts. And so I think about them in these situations. And that's why when it comes to what's next, which we can talk about, is I hope they're doing it as thoroughly but as quickly as possible, so these players that want to be here because I know that a lot of them love Lubbock. They love Texas Tech. They love each other, most importantly.
Yeah.
You touched on that. Like, it's about them. This program is about these players. It's not about a coach. It's
Y'all,
not about anything else. It's them. The players
It's
lead
y'all.
this program. And if they stay together,
oh, dude,
they can take this program to exactly where they wanted to go.
Exactly.
Under Snyder.
Tell
once
them.
they get on the right leader.
Tell
But
them.
I'm not also not putting that responsibility on them, right? Like, they have life choices to make. But if they truly want to be here, and the admin does right by them, which is a discussion we can talk about, and they get the right person, and they give them the support they deserve, and I hope they're keeping the players updated as much. I hope they're listening to the players once, like I said in that meeting. I'm sure they were given the chance to. I hope they actually listened. Because it's about the players, and especially the ones that have been through this multiple times, whether it's at Texas Tech or some of these transfers that came in. The reason they transferred is because the same thing happened at their previous school, right? And they came here thinking it was going to be a fresh start. And either way, these players are about to have to start over. Either they're going to start over with their teammates here under a new coach, or they're going to start over somewhere else. Either way, they've now been forced to start over.
That's true.
And that sucks.
Yeah.
So let's not sugarcoat it. But it doesn't mean it has to be over. It doesn't mean better times can't be ahead. But now it's on our administration to go out and get them someone, and hopefully sooner than later. You don't want to rush the process. We've been there before and made a horrific hire in the previous staff. Say what you want about Snyder, but he did restore the culture. All that stuff was true. He was a good person when it came to that and the atmosphere. He fixed that side of things, and I'm happy that he gave those seniors a better end to their careers than that they had before. But we want to make sure we make the right hire from that standpoint, and someone that'll be here and build on what we have and get us to winning championships. That's what the press release said. We want to win championships. Let's go find someone that can do that and do it sooner than later.
Yeah.
Because you have to acknowledge these athletes have choices and that they need to make as well, and they need the information to make
and
those
like
choices.
the time, time is of the essence, because that's another thing too. Like when Trash Panda first asked that question on like how the players are feeling, I feel like a sense of urgency of, do you go into the transfer portal or hang out or, whatever the case may be. But for just a sense of urgency with all of this is another thing that feels like so uncontrollable, because like you're right, someone right, but like what does that mean for who and who matters? And then if they can get here quick, it'll be really interesting to see. But yeah, I'm entering this process of like, okay, new coach, we know this feeling, but this time for me has just felt so different. It feels so different. So I'm going to be curious how we respond to the process that we see moving forward, or what we see moving forward.
We were on a positive trajectory, so it's like something was stolen from you. In the past, we were like, thank God we needed a new coach. You know what I mean? But this one was like, it feels like something was kind of taken away from the players that they had put the work into. But it's a tough situation. But yeah, as far as coaching options, we shared the article from D1 softball that came out today. About some coaching candidates that are on there. If you haven't seen our tweet, you can go read that. You can read their whole article on their website. I'm not going to steal their money, but I will give you the candidates that they put. But he has a lot of detail about each coach, and you can read into that. But the top one on the list, I don't know if these are in any particular order, but is Howard Dobson, assistant coach at LSU. He's someone that has come up in recent hiring cycles, which we've had a lot of them. He's a veteran. He's been around LSU for, I think, 13 years, 14 years.
What's that like?
What's that like? He's the assistant coach there, not the head coach.
I know, but I mean,
and he's also one of the assistant coaches on Team USA, which is really cool.
Oh, cool.
From a recruiting perspective. He's a hitting coach. He's pretty well respected, and I got some notes from some people, some former players and other things that are obviously in the world of softball, just asking their opinions. And he has a reputation of being a really, really good human, which we love, as well as being respected in the game of softball. This one makes a lot of sense for us. Now, does it make sense for him? We'll find out. But I did hear there was mutual interest there. What does mutual interest mean? Does that mean I'll pick up a phone call, or does that mean I'll get on a plane for an interview? We'll find out. We've talked to people. They say they're going to keep us updated. So follow us, listen to us. Those are all the reasons you can do that. They said they're going to keep us updated as actual candidates emerge and stuff that we can share with y'all. But right now, these are just the speculative ones from D1 and some other ones. So he's one. That one that would be a really splashy hire for sure. Rodney DeLong from North Texas. He's the head coach there. He was involved in the previous coaching search as well. He had a really good season. I believe he was at Austin P maybe, and then he's been at UNT since then. Kind of up and down, but he's there. He's someone that we've reached out to before. We know we have a relationship with Stilling UNT coaches, so that's a name that's out there. Steve Singleton is the hitting coach at Texas. He's never had a head coaching job. He's kind of young and new to this. Didn't really have a softball background at all, actually, until he came over from baseball. He's a former baseball player and worked in baseball for a while, and then joined Texas. Numbers-wise, there's a lot there. How long would he be in Lubbock if we went down that road? And there's a lot of stuff, I think, betting when it comes to someone like that, but he's on the list. Christy Breadbinner, head coach at Wichita State. She's been there for a good bit. Another one that would she consider leaving a mid-major for a power job? And maybe this would. She's never made that leap before. There's a lot of people on this list before that have been asked to be head coaches at power schools and turned it down. Would she consider Lubbock? That's the question. Mark Montgomery, former head coach at Maryland, is on this list as well. Again, this is a list from D1 softball, not from the school, but these are names that they feel like make some sense. And he recruited a lot out of Texas is the idea with this one. He has ties in recruiting because while he was at Maryland, before that he was at Louisiana Tech and built a nice little program there before he departed. Ricky or Woodard from Texas State is on this list. That's not happening, y'all. I just don't think that's happening. We can all dream. People have tried to get the Woodards. It's her and her brother that coach there. They've tried to get them to leave for years, and they said every time, like, we're not.
You're
leaving.
telling me a brother-sister combo is coaching?
Yeah,
that
and they're a dominant little mid-major.
Oh
so,
my God. What?
That would be awesome. They come up in every coaching search. They turn it down every time.
Oh, that's so cute.
They're going to be on every list. So I think it's one of those that you have to pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, us two know? Or are you sure? Like, are you sure? Lubbock, you want some tortillas? Throw 'em.
Yo, the food. Let me tell you. I promise. It's so much better.
The last one, other than just some random ones, is Rory St. Clair, who's assistant coach on the current staff.
Hey, yeah.
Fans will know her. She's very, very loved and very, very well respected by the coaches, or the players and the coaches, I'm sure, on their staff that are still around. And she has never had a head coaching job, but she has been a top assistant around softball and actually has a pretty impressive resume, like a veteran-style resume, if you will.
Yeah,
And I think it would make a lot of sense. I think fans might see it as like a cop-out, boring, like, safe move. And I don't know if that would make Kirby not do it if he's trying to make a splash or whatever. But I think you interview her if she's interested and you see what her plan is and all that and if she feels ready. But I talked to some former players and some other people, and they love her. And there was one former player, I won't name their name, that said that's the hire. That's the no-brainer. But obviously they're emotionally tied to it when they're former coaches and stuff. But you trust their opinions on that. So I think players would like it, but I think there's some others on there that would also bring that. And then you could maybe keep Rory. I would love her to be in Lubbock no matter what. I would also like to keep Mo around too. But I like our assistant coaches, honestly.
I do too.
Obviously, a head coach is going to have to come in and have some of their own staff. But I think there's a good chance maybe unless she wants to go find a head coaching job somewhere, if she doesn't get this one, that maybe we could keep her because she has a good resume and she's awesome, y'all. She's just great. And all the players love her. Everybody loves her. So that's why she's on this list. If she wants to apply, then I'm sure she'll be interviewed. So,
yeah, I mean, a lot of different angles to look at it. And it's kind of, I don't know, when I think of head coaches and it's so impossible to find the person that you know is going to be committed to staying in Lubbock forever, you know, whatever that our hopes and dreams are. But if we're going to bring a coach in, I'm trying to think of like what I would want them to do or like how I would want them to show up in this moment, in this time right now. And it seems like, I mean, Craig Snyder, but like you said, built that culture back. And that was also with the assistant coaches. So it's like, okay, we can maintain that while having someone that they know and they trust and who's been around. And I don't know, like maybe that emotional connection is what's needed, because part of me also thinks of this team in a way of like the women's national soccer team in a way of like, it almost didn't matter who the coach was in a way because the team just handled it on their own. They're like, we've been through it. We know what's up and we know we have each other. But I don't know. I mean, like that's me just thinking of a movie, honestly. I do think they're capable of it, but it's such a unique role to have as a head coach for a college team, in my opinion, just given like the makeup of your team of these baby adults, little humans coming into the world and doing big things, and how they can do so many things on their own and autonomously, but like who's going to provide that, like that leadership role. Yeah. Where's our like Ted Lasso of
Oh my God,
of softball? Maybe it's Rory. I don't know. But
someone. I wouldn't mind it, to be honest, just based on things I've heard from some player. I mean, even current players talked highly of her. We just interviewed Pecan last week.
Yeah,
and she talked very highly of Rory and what she had done for her as a hitter, and that she was a big part of that as hitting. So maybe she could be a hitting coach, and she's done that in the past at different places. So it's not like a safe hire as people think. Like there's going to be a time where she's going to be considered for coaching job. There's going to be a time.
Yeah, why not us? Like, F it.
When Morgan Claverman she's going to be a star head coach in the future. She's very young right now. She's a former All-American player at Florida State. She's on our staff as an assistant coach. There's going to be time that she's going to be a head coach in college softball. I don't know that now is the time for her, but I'm saying that's similar. Is that going to be the first time here for St. Clair? I don't know. I think they'll call Dobson. Supposedly there's mutual interest in some other people on this list for sure. And we'll see how it goes. Again, if we get any confirmation on actual people that are going to be interviewed and all that, we'll let you know if it's not already out there. That stuff has a tendency to get leaked to some major outlets that'll probably report on it and all that. So I would say D1 Baseball, Softball America, they do a great job. But if we hear about it first for some reason, of course, we'll share it with y'all.
We're going to have the best memes to it, I will say.
We'll research them, let you know the good stuff. We'll put their celebration abilities in there. Maybe we're, getting the important stuff.
Now you're talking.
How high do they jump on a home run? No,
hey, the hard-hitting questions.
My hope for admin, don't doubt they listen to our show, they watch our show.
I was about to say, like, what do you want to see, Shelby? What do you want to see?
First thing is they got to be a good damn human being.
Hey.
No red flags.
Bare minimum, babes.
You run on. Don't be one of those people that's like, I can fix it. No, you can't. We've
all
been
lessons.
there. Can't fix
We've
red
all
flags.
Been there.
See a red flag, turn around. Don't drown. So that's step number one. That's what these players deserve. Because it kind of is what you said. Coaching matters. Don't get me wrong. Clearly.
Sure.
It matters.
Yeah.
But atmosphere, environment, creating a healthy family environment matters a lot. And that's what a coach really can do. Is you got to put these players in the best position to perform to their abilities. And you need a coach that does that by being, at the bare minimum, a good human being and someone that they want to be around and they want to play for and they believe in. Step one. Step two, someone that's going to build a program and someone that can recruit and someone that can actually take this program where it deserves. Step three to that, we have to keep investing in this program. There's been some solid investments in the last year. We got that big donation to fix the field, and there's been some NIL support. We need that to keep going. I believe they fixed the bullpens in the last couple of years. They had new bullpens. They just got a whole new field, new turf this past year. They fixed the outfield wall that is beautiful with the script.
Crispy.
When we talked to Coach Snyder in an interview, he said next was the awning, I believe, is supposed to come before next season. I hope that's still supposed to come before next season. They need to get more seating. Softball is a revenue sport at other schools, and it can be a revenue sport at Texas Tech, but to do that, you have to invest in the program. And they've started to do that in recent years, but we need that to continue. It can't be
we did it.
Well,
see you next 20
work.
years.
Next. Like, you have to continue so that when you get someone again, it's not as easy in 24 hours to make a life decision to leave what you built for 2 years, right? It can't be an easy decision like that. So you need to keep investing in the program. And this can absolutely be a winning program. This can absolutely be... There's a huge hotbed of talent in West Texas and Lubbock for softball.
West Texas.
There's a huge interest in softball across the country. You talk to most people, if they're not sexist or whatever, they'll admit that softball is a more entertaining game than baseball. You know what I mean? They're completely different. They're different games. Most baseball players I know, I worked in baseball for a while, They're like, yeah, I know softball. I'll go watch it all the time because it's closer, faster paced. It's an exciting game when it's played well, and we've seen that over the past couple of years at times. And you just have to keep investing in it and keep believing in it. And you got to make that stadium better so that when they sell it out, which they do quite a bit.
Oh my God, dude!
It's with 5,000 people, not 500, 1,000, or whatever that thing can fit. And there's concession stands and all those things. That stuff needs to keep being invested in.
Yeah, and you know what I was thinking too, and I saw somebody comment on this, and I was like, yes, hype. But kind of off base a little bit, but soccer just started selling season tickets, and I know my people like that went to soccer games and you had to buy the individual ticket if you were like me and waited until last minute to buy it. And like that process, that hold up is just like, dang, I wish they could sell season tickets. So soccer has that. And I'm like, I want that for softball. Like softball's got next, because if y'all go to a Tech softball game, y'all, especially last season with how many records they broke with everything, it is so hype, and it's so close to being there, of like having some more concessions, more seating.
Concessions, like for the love, you've been to the games.
I know.
Like, explain the concessions situation. Like they have something, but it's not like real. It's like
a food truck situation. You walk up to a trailer and they have your drinks and bevies and stuff like that. You can get a beer there. I tell you what, ain't nothing better than a nice cold beer and Texas Tech softball. I tell you what. So that's my favorite thing to do in my life.
It's not a bad place to watch a game. It's getting better.
No bad seats.
Seating.
No bad seats. You just need more of the seats to continue that. But yeah, it feels like they're so close to there. So I know that right now like feels scary and unknown and all of that. But I do think Tech is at that brink. And I remember like growing up in Lubbock, softball had always been just part of my sports world, not because I was playing, but because I knew there was so much talent in that area, like West Texas, with softball. So I'm hearing you talk about like what you hope to see in the next chapter, whoever our head coach will be, and that's what's exciting to me, is if they can see that potential. And I mean, we're seeing it with recruits, we're seeing it with people coming to play for Texas Tech, and to continue that momentum as well of staying in the conversation. Craig Snyder, I'm really angry at you and I'm very grumpy with you, but I think there was some really key pockets of like that type of attitude, that type of adaptability. We talked to Pecan, dude. I'm like, I hope she goes and talks to that team and says like, listen, I know shit is tough. Here's how you can get through it with each other. Yeah, like she's like, damn, I just recorded a whole podcast with seeing Scarlett. Just watch that and let me know what questions you have. So I think that's kind of like my last hope and dream is seeing that development. But
you want someone that really believes in it, and that quite frankly, if I was the hiring in this, if I had a coach in that room and they didn't demand a part of their hiring requirements was X, Y, and Z investments in the stadium, X, Y, and Z investments in the program. If that wasn't something they were like, hey, I'm in, but this is what we need to do moving forward, I wouldn't want to hire them, because I want someone that has a vision for this program,
right?
Sees
like
where it
ideas,
can go, and sees where it can grow to, and what it can be, and believes in it. And it's not just okay, cool, I'll go to Texas Tech, get them to the tournament, and then go take whatever. But they need to have a vision for the program and where it's going to go, and that's what I hope they see in someone that has connections. And because we'll talk about, we've already lost one transfer, one player, but you're gonna have to bring some people in. But yeah, like Caitlin says in here, like West Texas has a lot of talent.
Holy shit! Like my whole life,
star players from West Texas, at Texas and other places. There's a lot of talent at softball. We gotta
keep them here.
This program is an untapped diamond.
Thank you.
And we need to invest in it, right? If you want to go in on a sport, we were doing it. We were there, and that's why this is so frustrating. We had this big class coming in, and their stadium was getting better, and we were on the right track, and then it feels like it's gone. Don't let it be gone. And that's on the admin. They have to go get the right person, and they have to keep the investments going. And they say they are. They put out the statement, we're going to build championships here. Go do it, right? But you can't let this be a U-turn. It just has to be a speed bump. You know what I mean? And we have to keep moving forward. And we're not blowing smoke when we say that there's like, this is someone that follows softball closely. We know they watch the show for softball. They're always in here talking about just softball. They wait around till
I think they leave once we stop talking.
They know a lot about it, right?
Yeah.
And listen to them if you're not listening to us. And there's so much talent, and that's like the fourth person that's told me that, whether it's former players or other people in the industry this week, that there's so much talent in West Texas, and there's so much interest. I mean, when OU comes to town, that place was packed because those kids just wanted to watch OU play softball because they're that big of
That's
fans.
their dream.
These teams came from everywhere. Once you get a team like that here, they're going to come from everywhere every single game.
It
can be a revenue sport. You have to invest in it so it can be, though. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Coaching search, you know, I've talked to some people in the industry, and they say that there's some coaches that are good and big names that aren't interested and have already applied, and that Texas Tech can make a home run hire if that's what they want to do. So we'll find out who that is. If that's an internal hire, or if that's an external hire, we'll find out. But I hope it happens as soon as possible so that they can get to re-recruiting the team that's here, and any that have hit the portal or will hit the portal. Hopefully no more will. And then also hitting the portal ourselves to fill in any spots that we need to, or bring in people from wherever they come from. Last note on softball, speaking of the portal.
Yeah.
This one's sad, but
it's so tough, dude.
There are a few players that entered the portal pre-Snyder that just were like younger players of people not getting playing time and that were going elsewhere anyway. But post-Snyder so far, Kaylee Wyckoff, our All-American or freshman All-American, all Big 12 player. I don't know how to say this. Other athletes who are listening, I love you guys. I do. Don't play favorites, but Kaylee Wyckoff is one of my favorite athletes that I've ever covered, whether it's with Texas Tech and Seeing Scarlet or previous jobs. Just getting to know her the little bit we have through interviews, through interactions with her, through watching her play. Her story is amazing. She was not highly recruited out of high school. She was going to SFA. That coach left in the middle of the summer right before her freshman year. Sounds familiar. And it just worked out that when Snyder got hired, he picked her up. She came to Texas Tech, didn't have a lot of expectations around her. She was admittedly terrible in fall ball of her freshman year. No one expected Kaylee Wyckoff to be what Kaylee Wyckoff was. I don't even know if Kaylee Wyckoff expected Kaylee Wyckoff to be what Kaylee Wyckoff was her freshman year. And then she repeated it her sophomore year. She's super humble. She's a great human being. She's a great person. And I'll say this, I've not talked to her since this has come out, but I know how much she loves Lubbock. I know how much she loves Texas Tech, and I know how much she loves their teammates, and I know how heartbreaking a decision this had to be for her to put her name in that portal. So I swear on everything, if I see anybody giving her shit, we will be in your comments.
Shelby will personally be on your doorstep.
I mean, there's always a chance until she signs somewhere that perhaps a new coach could re-recruit her. It's always a chance. We have not talked to Kaylee. I don't know what her plans are. But Kaylee Wyckoff can end up on a team that could win a national championship next year.
I know.
That's the type of programs that are going to be reaching out to her. Whether she's going to follow Snyder to Tennessee, I don't know. It could be A&M. It could be OU. She's from Katy. That's near A&M. All these things. But I'm a huge Kaylee Wyckoff fan. I'm going to be really sad to not watch her play. Kaylee Wyckoff was on a trajectory to have her face on the wall of this outfield. She was going to lead almost every category statistically if she stayed here for 4 years. That's the trajectory and as big of a star she was. And maybe there's a chance, but I don't blame her at all in what choices she has made as well as others. But yeah, she's just one of my favorites.
That was so nice. That was such a nice thing to say.
If anyone's casual people watching this because they saw the headline and they're like, oh, they're going to talk about softball, and you're hearing this and you didn't follow
you ain't been around here.
I don't care where she goes. If she,
me too.
I don't know if Austin, I don't know if Texas is on her list, but if she, I know people hate A&M, right? A&M feels like it's a likely spot for her because she's from Katy.
Could be fun.
You want to hate on her for going to A&M? Like, no, you don't. This is Kaylee Wyckoff. She's given a lot to this program. Do not. So, anyway, I'm just going to miss watching her play, to be honest.
I know. Yeah, it was really cool. If y'all haven't watched it, we did a spotlight on her, and really cool to hear her story like you were talking about and her impact that she had on this program. When I talk about drinking beer and watching Texas Tech softball, I'm talking Kaylee Wyckoff is up to bat and about to hit a bomb. So like that, those are the things I'm going to miss. And any team she goes to, I'm going to be like, oh, y'all are so lucky.
No, they
like
really are.
With every transfer we get, I think we always go to their Twitter or whatever, and we're like, you better treat her nice.
Can you imagine what people are going to see when they Great. They searched Kaylee Wyckoff for Wiki's name on Twitter.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, they loved her.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So wherever you go, just be prepared for us. If you stay here, that's really cool. Shelby did a
Kaylee,
great
if you're
pitch.
I don't
Shelby-
blame you, but if we get the right coach, Kaylee,
Oh.
we love you. Face on the wall. Face on the wall. Come on.
Dang,
No,
recruiter. But anywhere she
yeah,
goes, I'm gonna be excited to watch her play, watch her progress, because she's destined for
She's
a
already
next
great.
level.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Cool.
And we'll see if others people enter the portal. You'll see that all over Twitter. Again, what we haven't talked to any of the players directly. That's not our prerogative. Outside of reaching out to a few, just saying we're thinking about them and all that. But I know a lot of them that they love Lubbock. They love each other most of all. It's a very, very, very close group. I can't emphasize that enough.
Every Red Raider, knows that feeling too.
Yeah, and so I think a lot of them they want to be here, but they need to believe in the coaching. The coach that they bring in, they need to believe in the future and what they got. And again, that's on admin to go do it for them. So I hope that process goes as fast as it can while being thorough, and we'll keep you updated while we can.
That's right. Well, good stuff with softball. Yeah, a great comment. West Texas players in the World Series.
There was Abilene in there. There's all sorts of West Texas players in the championship game.
Diamond, like
It's
Shelby
untapped.
said.
Stop letting them leave Texas.
Who
Stop
likes
letting them leave.
diamonds? Get on in here. But yeah, and then
To finish it with this,
yeah,
they are invested. I want to give them credit. They are invested from everything I heard, but they still need some sort of information to stay invested. I don't blame them. So, but yeah, they love Lubbock, y'all. They're bought in. They're the ones that we've talked to prior to all this. Like, I can't explain how much they love Texas Tech and they love Lubbock and they love each other. So hopefully they get a chance to stay and they don't have to start over somewhere else. But we'll see. That's a great point. Because, yes, most Power 5 schools, the day after, everybody would have been in the portal. It's only been a couple days, so we'll see. But I don't blame them either way. Hopefully administration keeps them updated, and as well as them, and then the incoming freshmen, which we didn't say we're wearing.
Hey, yo.
We got these shirts a while ago from one of the incoming, Brinley Gonzalez, I believe.
Yeah.
Her family sent us these shirts a long time ago when we did an episode on the incoming freshman class.
So cute.
Brinley, if you're watching, I hope you're still coming, but we're rocking your shirt anyway. It
felt appropriate for our uniform.
Announcement shirt, so we're like, we got to break these out for this episode. We probably worn them before.
Felt right, yeah.
But yeah, so if incoming recruits, we hope they're still invested, but
yeah, we'll see.
I would expect there to be. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see. Cool.
That's softball. If y'all have questions, y'all know where to find us on social media. We'll give you updates as we can.
Yeah, go like and subscribe and do all the things.
Like, subscribe, all the things. No, but like for real. Like if y'all don't do that stuff,
please.
we can't keep doing what we do and spreading the news. So we appreciate it.
No doubt. Cool. Do you want to go track and field next, or you want to go basketball?
Yeah,
next?
go for it.
Cool.
We have walk through track and field.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we have exciting news to share if y'all haven't already seen, but Caleb Dean, y'all, 400-meter hurdle champ. And it was, do you have the clip here? Or is it,
we don't
is
have
this
his
the other
clip,
one?
Sorry.
Y'all should go watch it if you haven't, all over Tech Athletics. It's just like such a powerful performance. And I was reading a lot of his press conferences and things afterwards of, where he's been and injuries he's worked through. And the track and field component that I'm still learning so much more about. And we had Alyssa come and talk to us too. And it's just, it's such a really cool thing to see in an individualized. I think that's what I'm appreciating about it a lot is like, it's all you, like you got to show up for you. And he ended up doing that. And what was his time? 47:23. Best this year, second all time in college, and the first to ever sweep indoor 60-meter hurdles and outdoor 400-meter. So what a great stat to have.
He's him.
He's him,
and he only ran in I think his first race of the year was the Big 12 championship. The outdoor year, because he ran a lot at the indoors. He was in all these events, and he had a groin injury, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Groin, and he was out, and they were keeping. It's also an Olympic year, so you have to be very careful. He's clearly in the running to make the Olympic team, and that's a tough spot to make it in. But he's, I think he's one of the top 3 hurdle times of the year, in the Olympic time as well. So he could be doing that in a few weeks as well. So he had a lot to care about, and he still first time he ran, and then he qualifies for nationals off one run or regionals off one run, then wins our regionals and comes here and does this. So.
Yeah.
He looked good. He looked fresh. He looked like the best guy there, even in the
like
in the prelims.
no mistakes, very flawless victory. I like to think in that way. So yeah, huge shout out to Caleb Dean. Who do we have next?
Next we have Timotop Adeshina. She high jumper
Bronze,
freshman.
yeah.
You've heard us talk about her before. She's breaking all sorts of records. She got third at nationals as a freshman, which is really impressive. But she also hit the Olympic standard, a PR 1.97 meters, and she was the first Nigerian to ever jump that high. And she will be representing Nigeria at the Olympics, obviously, as their best high jumper ever. So she'll be real busy in a few weeks. You'll have someone to watch in the Olympics from Tech. You'll have quite a few Texas Tech athletes, either current or former, especially on the track side, that you'll be speckled about in there. Caleb has a chance. Courtney Lindsay, who won the 100-meter national championship last year, he's probably had one of the best 12, 13-month runs of any track athlete ever.
Yeah, that progress
he won
is
college,
insane.
and then now he's like helping the U.S. win worlds and stuff in the relays. He's on the relay, so it's hard to be a 100-meter champion with the U.S. because they're so stacked, but he has been on the relay and in contention, so we'll see. Yeah, Kyle, that's a great point. She set 3 new PRs in the high jump. She just kept up in the game.
Goodness.
It is so impressive by a freshman. She's a star.
What what do you do with all that talent? Like, how? If you're a coach, what do you do?
What do you just
Nothing.
say go jump high?
I say you tell me what you need.
Don't ask me.
If you want to coach me,
I know what
great.
to do with that.
But everything you're doing seems to be working just fine, baby. Just go on. But wow, that is amazing, impressive. Thanks, Kyle, for that also addition.
Kyle watched all the meet. I know he was keeping me updated when I wasn't able to watch, so appreciate it, Kyle. Rosemary had a great year all year. She finished third in the 100, but she broke 11. She was in the 10.9, 10.8 something range, and she still got third. That's how fast the race was. So I think she'll be in the Olympics as well for her country. I'm not sure how competitive it is on her side, but we'll see. A lot of athletes will have their trials coming up. So congrats to her. She's fun to watch run. On the individual side and on the relay side in the 4x100, she anchors that. And we'll get it to her. I think we got it to her in 7th, and she got us up to 5th to finish. Similar thing happened in the prelims. We were in like 4th or 5th in the prelim thing, and you're like, oh, dang, we're going to have to qualify based on time. And then, she cooked and got second in our prelim round to get us the automatic qualifier to get in. She's just amazing to watch. But she's on that relay with 3 other amazing athletes, and one, a friend of the podcast, Alyssa Culver. Right. You're an All-American, because if you get top 8 in nationals, you're an All-American. So our girl, All-American. She has a great story. This is what she came here to. She's been an All-American before. But she came here to be on a 4x100 team. She wanted to be a part of a special group, and they really had a great season. I think they've set the 2nd and the 3rd best times in Tech history this year. For that 4x100 team with Alyssa Colbert, Rosemary, Success, and Serena. Yeah. With the 4 on there, they had great seasons as well. There's some other great individual performances, but those are the highlights.
It's huge, yeah.
And then Ernest. We can't forget Ernest, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So we have this clip that went viral.
This was a good clip. Yeah, it went viral. So proud. Yeah, this is good to see.
I don't know if our clip went viral. I guess it did a little. I guess it did. The Instagram thing is just.
Oh, yeah. It's a viral moment. Coming at you right now.
But this is our freshman, Ernest Chirube. I'm trying, yes. He's a freshman. He's a long distance runner. This was in the 10,000 meters, I believe. I watched this whole thing, but it takes like 30 minutes for them to run this, y'all. It's insane. Yeah. And that's really fast for what they're doing, but it still was. And he led it for the back half of it for much of the way. He was leading the last 2 laps, and then just an unfortunate thing happens. Yeah. There's a pile up, and at first we're all like, I think I might have been texting Kyle and be like, dang, we're so lucky he didn't get caught up in that pile up. Thank goodness. And then you start noticing he's running without a shoe. Yeah. For the final 2.5 laps. He ran
just a minor
without
detail.
A shoe. I don't know if any of y'all ever ran on a track barefoot. Wouldn't advise it.
Painful. Even
in Oregon, it was probably a little toasty. I kept hearing him say it was hot.
And you're competing
but
for
it's
like
rough. it
you're
hurts.
competing for it all. Like,
And you're running 2 laps on that, at least 2 laps. And yeah, nobody picked it up. We're like the only people that posted about it besides Texas Tech. I don't know why. They never mention it on the broadcast. I was like, yeah, they'll do it the next day.
Like, this
Surely
is-
they'll call
yeah.
him out. He ends up finishing 5th, I believe. Was it 5th? Correct me if I'm wrong. 4th. He ended up finishing 4th
wow.
in the nation in this event, running the final two laps or so
one
with
shoe.
one shoe against the best athletes in the country.
I wonder. I'm like, what if you kicked off the other shoe? I wonder if that would have been any better. But like,
He
who
did
knows?
kick it off too. You watch it. We'll watch the thing.
Oh,
'cause it
okay,
was like
cool,
half
cool.
on, half off, and so he just said.
F it, yeah.
But you'll watch. This is kind of a clip. He gets stepped on from behind in a pile up, and then at some point his shoe gets knocked.
Spawned after he took a.
The audio is irrelevant because again they don't mention it. They're talking about the guy that wins it, but our guy's in front. He was leading when this happened, which was what really sucks. And he's a great closer, so I think he might have won.
Tumble. The carnage there among your
Oh,
lead
no.
diving there next to
pile up.
Patrick Kiprop. Swings out, has to run a lot of extra.
There goes the shoe.
real estate.
Oh, no way.
And now he's running
Fends off
barefoot.
the finishing charge over the last 200 meters
Oh, my goodness.
after he ran that incredible 10,000 meter early.
That shower or bath is going to
Yeah.
be spicy. Okay, so like he made a choice here because part of me thinks like I would have reached down and tried to hook my shoe back on, but like that was an intentional. I'm flipping this thing out and knowing what he has to do next. What a competitor!
I would actually
what a competitor!
love to hear like what
Ernest.
their thoughts like should not. I don't know. I don't want to make the guy feel like he should have, could have, would have.
Well, yeah.
But like, would it turned out differently if he stopped and just put a shoe on and kept running? I
Right.
don't know. That's a tough thing because that's a lot. That's going to take a little bit, right? But what's also impressive about this race, the guy that ends up winning, who's at New Mexico, transfer portal, come to Lubbock. Anyway,
Ayo.
he's at the University of New Mexico. He won it. He was involved in the pileup.
Was he in the pileup? I was
he-
like,
he
that
didn't
feels like
cause
the
it,
story.
But he
Yeah.
fell over. But he got up faster than it would have taken Ernest
See?
to stop and put his shoe on. So
I'm saying,
I don't
yeah,
think,
but
I don't
like
think
what
it would have
a
changed much. But
I love that effort. That is again like it's just you. It's your individual you. You have a choice to make, and to compete is what Ernest chose to do, and that's some Red Raider attitude, baby. I love it. Track and field. That's
he's
what's
only a
up.
freshman as well, so I don't know about
Makes
his
sense.
Olympic qualifying or what he has planned, but we'll see. I'm interested to see how many Red Raiders are in the Olympics.
I know Olympic year. Yeah, this will be fun for a lot of reasons. So yeah.
We'll have
Awesome.
we'll have one Red Raider in soccer. Well, we'll talk about soccer in a minute. I guess there's a tease for you, but one playing for Canada most likely, right?
Oh, okay.
Janine Becky will be playing
Janine
for
Becky.
Canada, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like,
And
what do you know? I was about to.
did you not hear that Sam
lose
actually got elevated?
my mind. Wow. Hannah Anderson? Question mark. Would like to have a word. No, Alex. No, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's next?
Let's talk about the Lady Raiders. We teased out at the beginning about the visitor we had on campus for the Lady Raiders. Mackenzie, I need to know how to say it. Matherin? I think I'm gonna go with Matherin. I think she has.
Matherin.
I think she has Australia flag and United States flag. So I think she's.
Let's
I don't
see
know
how
I think
you
she
say
grew up
it.
here, but either her mom or dad maybe is Australian, but she has some Australian background to her. So that makes me want to say Matherin, but we'll see. At any rate, sorry, Kenzie, if we're saying your name wrong, just let us know. She is a huge player. She's a 5'10" shooting guard, regarded as one of the best shooting guards in the country. She's the 46th ranked player in the country and has risen a lot here recently because she's killing it on the AAU circuit. She was just MVP of the Adidas Session 2 circuit, dropping like 20 points a game. Like
Oh my
5 rebounds, all these
gosh.
things. Go read it. We put an article out on our website with all her stats. We'll show you a video of her in a second. My favorite things about her, though, is I went and like checked on different talent evaluator websites. Every single one of them mentions the same thing in some form about her work ethic, her being just kind of that dog attitude, that all those things that you want in a player. She's a leader.
Yeah.
She has unrelenting work ethic, and that's why she's shot up the boards. I believe her mom's a coach, so that never hurts.
Sure.
And she's just flat out skilled. Skilled is all. She can shoot it deep. She's tough. Toughness is something you see on a lot of these Italian evaluations as well. and she can take a bump and finish at the rim. She can pass it when she needs to. She's a shooting guard. Yeah, she's not a point guard, but she can give it to someone when she needs to. But she's out there to get buckets. She can play defense pretty well. She's from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Not too far.
Yeah.
Lubbock's not that far.
That's just
Lubbock's not that far.
Hop, skip away. Yeah.
And we'll give you a nice quote that she recently gave us.
We
asked her
got
how
an exclusive. Yeah.
We got an exclusive, I guess. I don't know what you call it. But
Yeah.
we just always like to go to the players directly. Like, why assume? But
Yeah.
if you've been following her on Twitter, which you should absolutely do, great Twitter follow.
Cool. Good to know.
She X, whatever you people want to call it. I call it Twitter still because Twix. I like that.
It's cute, huh?
It's kind of taken,
I wish I
but
could claim that
it's
as my
fine.
own. Sorry. Yeah.
McKinsey said, the experience was everything I'd imagined and more. From the coaching staff to hanging with the players to the facilities tour, Texas Tech has been a school on my radar for a while, as far back as attending camp as an 8th grader when I first met Coach Gerlich. Everybody say,
Oh my goodness. Oh, wait, 8th grader? How long has Krista Gerlich been here? What year is it? Yes,
that would have been
this
like
makes
her
sense.
prep for her first year,
That's
probably.
cute.
Or, I mean, Gerlich obviously had camps at her previous spots too.
That's true too. Yeah.
So no,
Duh,
8th grade
yeah.
will be right because she's a junior right now. So yeah. That would.
Okay.
The biggest thing that impressed me was the support from the community. Everyone has been so nice, from the waiters to the online supporters. A real Texas welcome.
Online supporters got us
What
a shout
y'all
out.
say, what y'all say matters. Everyone sometimes
that's
people are like, oh, that stuff
improvement.
doesn't matter. Be positive, y'all.
That's
Let 'em
improvement.
know
Let's
that
go.
stuff matters. No, you got to let them, give them that West Texas spirit and let them know who you are and not let the trolls dominate the space. Let them know the real people think. So that's
right.
awesome, Mackenzie. Appreciate you giving us that quote so we could share it and let people know what's up. But it sounds
Really
like it
thoughtful.
went really well. And I love that whole backstory that I knew she was someone that we went after originally. She was committed to Nebraska, is why this is such kind of a late visit in the cycle. But she was committed to Nebraska, decommitted from Nebraska in May, and we were. This is her first official visit since that, and she has. Go look at her page. She got offer after offer after offer after offer after she decommitted. So I assume she's probably going to take more visits. I don't blame the girl, given she's already committed once and this is her second go round. And so, yeah, but it went well. And you always like being the first. Now see if anybody can top that experience. And
Krista
she did
Gerlich-
have a friend that stopped by by the name of Aaliyah Chavez. That was not an official visit or an unofficial visit for Aaliyah. She was there to see Kinsey. But that was a cool picture to see them. They know each other, I believe, from the
Are they homies?
circuit.
Cool.
They're anybody, elite athletes, they know each other.
I guess so. Yeah, that's
I think
true.
That's the thing
Especially
there,
their
so they gotta
caliber, top 50 or, number 1.
Yeah, number 1, number 46. I'm saying right now, Kinsey, get Mackenzie. I'm calling it. Are we close like that yet?
Kinsey.
Yes, they call you Kinsey. Killer K. Ooh,
Oh,
shirt.
shit.
Killer K. I got you, Kinsey. I'll make you a shirt.
Dang, graphic designer.
Yeah, I think her and Aaliyah came together. That's I wouldn't say program changing, but it is program restoring, because we've been there, done that, y'all. We've won a national championship.
Ooh.
But they could go get us another one along with who's already on campus and who else would come after. So that would be fun. But either
True.
way, I mean, I would Mackenzie all day. Let's be a Lady Raider. She is a fun player.
Cool.
The more stuff I watched on her, we'll show you some clips.
Yeah.
I like everything about Mackenzie Mothran. Like, I like how she plays. I like her attitude. I like her work ethic. She's got that dog about her. I even like her freaking social media. Like, she's just killing it.
Yeah.
I
A
noticed
compliment
these
from
things.
you
She's killing
yeah, saying something like that from you is a huge compliment. So, Kinsey, oh, sorry. If you're listening, you should.
We always do it at the same time.
I'm so sorry. We should talk about
sorry.
that, huh?
I'm going to sound off because we'll probably get dinged on YouTube because it's a song. But
Oh, yeah, we got
you can
that.
watch the highlights of her. It's kind of a long video.
I'll make
but
the sound effects.
Yeah, we can just be like, ooh,
Swish.
dude, this is her about to nail 3. Crush it.
Swish.
This is her on the AAU circuit, so not her high school.
Oh.
That's not her. This is her. She can finish on it inside. She's strong. She's 5'10", but
Yeah.
she also has a strong build to her. Just straight up
She can
stole that from
move.
her. Like, thank you. Good finisher, like I said. She's really good making shots at the rim and shooting threes, which you love. right? That's
Dude,
the most
get into
efficient.
the hoop.
The most efficient offense in the world is shooting threes and getting to the hoop.
Get
And she
into
can
the
do
hoop.
that kind of at will at this level. So I like that she's pretty well built as well. That's kind of the thing coming into college. Can you handle the physicality? I'm
Okay.
not saying there won't be an adjustment, but I do think she's well suited for that and well prepared for that. And I think she's someone that would step in and if there were minutes to be had, be a contributor right away because of her shooting ability, because of her finishing ability, because seemingly she's a good enough defender, at least at this level,
Yeah.
and she could only get better. And the work ethic part of it and the leadership part of it.
Dude, she's
just
quick.
smooth.
Yeah.
She's got kind of everything you really want. I'm not saying she's not like elite at any one skill, but she's good at all of them. But I would say maybe shooting is pretty elite. I saw someone say that she'll step in college and be a 40% plus 3-point shooter right away. And those are big words. Those are big words.
Yeah, if you
So,
shoot 40 from 3.
That you shoot 40% for that was
Yeah, that
Riley
one pretty
McKinney.
good.
That's Riley McKinney level.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you'd be that. These are highlights, obviously, so they put the good stuff in there. But she has a lot of good stuff to put in a highlight reel. So that's what you're getting in Mackenzie Mothrin. I'm saying that correctly, from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. She's also going to be a part of it's the first season they're having the overtime select league down in Atlanta.
Dang.
And they picked, it's invite only.
And
There's a lot
hot
of top
Atlanta.
prospects going. Chavez is obviously going.
Oh my
Mackenzie
gosh.
was invited to that as well, which is a really big. That's a
That
big
seems
honor.
huge.
And there's
Yeah.
going to be multiple teams down there. They've had like a media day for it. I think recently I've seen a lot of content coming out for it. I don't know when it starts, but it has to start here pretty soon, and then it's kind of goes over a few weeks.
That's hype.
In between their travel ball schedules. But it's a cool league. It's the first of its kind where they can kind of play against each other. Because AAU ball's kind of gotten a bit from. I mean, I'm not gonna act like I'm out there on it or around it every day, but it's gotten a bit like diluted. Is that the right word? God, sciencey, but it's not as best against the best always anymore because there's some teams that are being let into these tournaments that shouldn't. And so this way they're going to go there and they're going to play against the best because it was invite only.
Gotcha.
And they only took the best, and they're going to be separated on different teams and all that.
Okay.
And it's all in Atlanta and at the overtime facility.
Dude.
You've seen that, so it'll be cool. They do media very well.
Cool.
Overtime, so there'll be a lot of content from it. But unless that's changed, she was listed as the original, like people in the original release to be a part of it. So
cool.
that'll be cool as well, and she'll get a chance to hang out with some of the other top prospects. Maybe y'all want to team up and come to Lubbock. Let's see.
Hey, just saying. Yeah.
No, but Mackenzie would be awesome, and I would be really hyped if we got a bling bling at some point. I would be very excited. So she's gotta see out the process probably.
Shelby's
but,
like,
please. I just want to see. I mean, Gerlich's been crushing it in recruiting.
I'm saying
despite what
she's
some
pretty.
casuals say, she's been consistently
pretty,
bringing in talent over these last few years, and then in the portal as well, especially this year. Brought in a top 50 player in Bristow, and former Miss Tennessee and Danae Fritz, and JUCO All-American in Ivana. You got Adley Blacklock, who's been dropping 50 points in Lubbock when she was here as a high schooler winning state, and all these other players that they brought in there that have done it at every level and won games everywhere they've been, and you keep adding to it, y'all. We just got to keep adding talent. So, yeah, that's cool.
I'm hype about it. Hype about that. And speaking of Lady Raiders, we recorded our spotlight with Bree and Kat. Big Cat, Bree Amber Scott. Oh, her government name. We talked about that. It's a really fun episode because y'all know them. And imagine them graduate, they're away from this program for a year. It was a really fun time. So
they were very candid, and I really think we talked about this after. The middle part of that interview, I mean, all of it's great.
Gold.
But the middle part of that was just gold on so many levels. They talked about last year's team and next year's team and gave really candid thoughts about what they thought, kind of went wrong, but obviously the injuries and kind of how it can feel being in that situation when it feels like everything's against you and what they see for the future of this program. But also we asked them straight up about like the discourse in the WNBA right now with Caitlin Clark and the physicality. Bree has been playing professional basketball overseas. It's more physical over there even than it is in the WNBA.
She's been...
And so they gave their takes, and we talked about how people don't seem to know how to speak about women's sports, and that we've dealt with that on Seeing Scarlet. And so now we're seeing the national media struggle with that with the WNBA. But like we get annoyed when people are in our comments like that don't get the competitiveness of women's sports, and we're like, it's sports. Just talk about sports. Like, they're gonna be competitors. There's nothing wrong with a little talking. There's nothing wrong with a little passion. But for some reason, people are struggling with that now that it's being shown on the national stage.
Women don't do that, Shelby.
And they
Come
get
on.
women don't
you
that.
know?
Oh.
Sorry.
It just
We'll talk
baffles
about
me. I
that
think
forever.
that's something with this I've always struggled with seeing Scarlett.
Spill.
Is coming to that realization, because I'm going to be frank, I didn't really understand how ignorant some people were. It's not just men, it's women too. Maybe that didn't play sports, I don't know, but definitely a lot of men are so ignorant to that. And I guess I never paid attention to it because I was in sports and I was playing it and I was surrounded by men or women that got it and understood it and didn't judge it. But like now when we do this, we'll say stuff and we'll talk about stuff and we'll show highlights, and sometimes you'll get comments like, "Ooh, I don't like that." And like all they did was like ice in the veins or like what. It was not disrespectful at all, but sometimes you'd be like, "Yeah, they probably should have gotten a tech for that." And like, what? Like it throws. I mean, you wouldn't have watched me play basketball. I'm gonna say that right now. I wasn't as cool as them and doing this stuff, but like I get really into it. I'm respectful, but like, and these are like elite athletes, of course they are. So anyway, they talked about that really candidly, and they talked about some other issues in sports. So that's a long tease, but it was really
good. Yeah, and always a good time. So sweet. Anything else on the basketball front?
Oh, we could talk about that forever. Y'all know us, but
yeah, I know.
We got some exciting pro Red Raider news.
Oh, okay.
So, besides pro Bree Scott Lady Raider.
That's true. That's true. Some additional professional news. Professional. Yeah, the NWSL, the Professional Soccer League for women's soccer in the United States, y'all. Full swing ahead. Y'all know our Red Raiders, Alex Kerr, Hannah Anderson, on the roster. And not only that, y'all, but they are now getting minutes playing the damn game professional. And that's really, really exciting. So Alex Kerr got some minutes against San Diego.
Happened in the same week.
So it was like Red Raider week for him. And yeah, so Alex Kerr got some minutes, really exciting. And then, dude, Hannah Anderson, y'all, got drafted to Chicago, and the Red Stars had this event. I don't know what sparked it. I need to research it a little bit more, but they had a match at Wrigley Field. They put the soccer pitch in, outfield and outfitted some of the dirt and stuff like that. But our captain, Hannah Anderson, got drafted to a professional team. Not only that, but then gets to play in Wrigley Field. That's going to be her most unique fact when you're in an icebreaker situation. Like, tell us a unique thing about yourself. Hannah Anderson has an answer for life. And she got to play and she got to start in that match. So that was a little different. She started in her match again.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember who they were playing.
She made her debut the 2 nights before,
she did.
I believe. And
she
had
did.
a brief appearance. I forget against who. But this was her first career start. And that is a wild thing. I think it was Bay City is who they played. In her first career start at Wrigley. They lost, but I watched the second half. I was
she
gone,
got
but
touches.
Sibby was keeping me.
Oh,
I
dude.
thought she played well. I'm not a soccer expert. There are certainly things to learn from, but she was. I mean, she didn't look tired. She played a full 90.
She played the full match, dude. She's playing in front of Alyssa Nair. And it was Alyssa Nair's first game back from injury. So, like, the goalkeeper of the United States women's national team, Hannah Anderson, was back there with her the whole game. And she played, she had some, I expected some kind of hiccups when you have all of those layers happening at the same time. But she had some great clears, like multiple clears. She had some great passes out of the box, high pressure situations. She brought the ball up. Shelby, you know that shit. She does that shit all the time. She was bringing the ball up, and we were like,
I was just waiting for her to take one of her patented Hannah Anderson from midfield shots that she did for us all the time. She's going to make one of those eventually. They'd be hitting the crossbar everywhere.
She's been involved with some corner kicks, some set pieces, so they know.
I mean, there was the 2 corners I saw. I don't know if she was the target, but the ball went to her.
She was involved,
she knocked off her path there. So, but she's tall. So that's going to be natural. But she had some great passes, some great crosses. That one that almost led to a goal, and just missed a person's foot. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool to watch that. I didn't get to watch Alex's game because I don't know
It's
that
tough.
it was on
They're
TV
tough to
or if it
watch.
was,
Yeah,
but,
some of them are. Yeah.
I'm hoping she keeps getting in. That team's doing really well. They had like the longest winning streak in
Alex is in good hands.
Yeah, she's
and
doing well.
getting to play too is awesome.
Did you mention that there was a record-breaking crowd? Did you mention that?
I
Sorry
didn't,
if you did.
but of course at
It's the
Wrigley.
largest crowd in NWSL history, and it was the
Wow.
first ever NWSL game at Wrigley. Not the first soccer game; they had them back in the day, but the first NWSL game at Wrigley, or at a baseball field at all, at any MLB stadium, and it was
Okay.
the largest crowd in NW. It was like over
Dude.
35,000.
Y'all,
How can you top that as a
we
your
are
first career
yeah.
start? And she
we
was the
are
only one
living.
getting their first career start in that game. Like that's pretty hype, Hannah.
It is. We were stoked to see that. So again, yeah, some graduated seeing Scarlet athletes
wait
doing
to
the damn
watch.
thing.
I'm hoping we can catch one of Alex's games soon and we can give
Me
a
too.
report on her.
Give
But
us the
she's
login
doing
info,
well.
Alex.
She's on a really good team down there, so
She
it's
is.
cool to see her finally get in a game though. It's good for her.
Yeah, good job, gals. Keep it up. Yeah, so that's what we have for soccer.
Yep. I think that's what we have for the episode too, y'all. And
Cool.
we kind of said this was our last recap show because there's no more sports. We've gone
For now.
We've gone through the 23-24 season. It's wrapped. I thought we were
Happy New
wrapped
Year.
on major news.
Aw,
and literally
dude.
the day after the final sport ended, we woke up to the softball news.
Yeah.
But we'll have
That's life.
other shows as needed, especially if there's when there's a coaching hire. We'll definitely have a show on that if we need to do any specific stuff on that. Any recruiting updates, we'll have different videos on that like y'all see us do all the time. But this time of year, we're getting back to our bread and butter, and that's spotlights as we're covering them, but that's an interview where we'll talk to players. We have the one with Bree and Kat coming out. We've been working on with the tennis duo.
Yes.
It's summer. It's kind of hard to track down, especially a pair
Yeah,
like that.
y'all know what
Mecca
it's
and
like.
Avie. It's one thing to get one person scheduled, but two people in two different locations. But we're working on it with them. If we can get them on here, we think they deserve the shine. So that's
Yeah,
why
that'd
we're
be fun.
offering it. And they want to come on. It's just a timing thing. And then we're going to try and get some newbies from women's basketball that y'all have been requesting. We'll see if they're about it. We're not going to bug them if they don't want to, but if any of them want to come on, and if y'all want any other athletes,
Yeah, comment
Send us-
who you
yeah,
would like
comment
to
who
talk
you
to,
want us to-
or who. Yeah, I have someone on my radar, but I'm not gonna tell
I
anybody.
like that. Yeah, we
So
got some
maybe you
fun
can guess who
ones.
I'm thinking, but I doubt you can.
I love that. Yeah, any players, any coaches, anything you want us to get
Mm-hmm.
on here, y'all shoot us a note and we'll reach out. The worst, if they say no, we're not people that are gonna push it. Some athletes aren't about media, y'all. Some of them love it, and if they want to
That's
come on
true.
the show, we'll have them on here. So, yeah, that's kind
right.
of what's ahead.
Cool.
When it comes to softball, guys, we'll keep you as updated as we can. Stay tuned. We'll share the news if the nationals people are getting it and putting it out there, like we did today with D1 softball, or if for some reason we get a heads up on some things. We're gonna do our best to keep y'all updated. Really, we're doing our best to keep the recruits and the players updated because that's really what we do this for, if we're being frank. But y'all get the news as well. So, yeah, that's kind of what we
Cool.
got.
Awesome.
Alrighty.
Thanks for hanging out, y'all. Wreck 'em forever and ever.
Bye.
Thanks, Kyle.